All right, YouTube is live. That's good. Considering that's the one that's been most troublesome. Going live on Insta. All right, live shot of Insta. That's up and running. And last but not least, we have Facebook. Oh wow, was I just on there? I really was. Oh well. Back to OBS and start Facebook. And Facebook's up and running. All right, I think I did it. Cool. All right, so in this portion, first I'm gonna take off these headphones and go over to the kitchen. Excuse me for just one moment. I accidentally muted the microphone. Maybe that's a good thing. All right. Make sure that I have this. Okay, so for the topping for this cheesecake that I'm making, it requires 2 tablespoons of butter, cold butter, and it definitely helps if you cube it. So that's what I'm gonna do. So first thing, is you like where I placed the camera? It's a little bit, I think, easier for everyone. Okay. Especially for me. And you'll notice I'm actually, for real, following the measurements. All right. I should have done this part ahead of time and then put it back into chill, but that's okay. We'll be fine. I'm not worried if you're not worried. Here's something interesting. Something I heard yesterday. I'd never once heard this before in my life. And if anybody's watching this, maybe they can let me know what the reasoning might be. But someone told me yesterday, they were adamant too, that this is like common knowledge, that you're not supposed to pick tomatoes when they're wet. So like, if I was going to pick them yesterday when it was raining, that doing that while they're, after it's rained, somehow ruins the tomato. But I'd never heard that before in my life. But maybe somebody else knows more about that, because I obviously don't. But I can't, I'm trying to logically, or from a, agricultural, I can't think of anything that would be affected by the tomato being wet, but who knows? Okay. I really should be doing this more quickly, but I also don't want to cut myself when I have a mass to play. Playing piano with a cut on your hand stinks. Okay. So I have these old-fashioned rolled oats. I use them for other things too, but for this it's great. All right, third cup in each of these. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do, because the thing is, like, you have to, this isn't good by itself. It has to go on to something and bake. So I had asked about, or I was asking, just in general, do you guys think I should put graham cracker in there? And I'm like, I think I'm going to have to invent something just for the ice cream. All right. This is just sorry gluteneers. Hey, maybe I can do something gluten-free. But this recipe is loaded with gluten. So this is just all-purpose flour. Three tablespoons in each one. That person might have been pulling my leg, though sometimes I'm not sure. All right. 3. I probably should have whisked the ingredients together first, the dry ingredients, but too late now. Okay. One dead after hijack bus speeds through LA with driver held at gunpoint. Doesn't that sound like a movie? Looking at you, Sandra Bullock. Sorry, that was very cold of me to say that about somebody dying, but that literally looks like the plot of Speed. Oh, this is brown sugar, I think. Whoa. I am so glad I checked. Well, that's not going to hurt anything. Those are my leftover graham cracker crumbs. Okay. I'll use that one for the ice cream. That I know. All right, so 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Brown sugar is kind of spongy, so you have to pack it in. Pack it up, pack it in. Okay. These things are great. I tend to drop things from high places, and these always just stand up. Nothing ever spills out. It's great. All right. Half a teaspoon of cinnamon. I never, ever, ever like to overdo it with cinnamon because it can really, really overpower stuff. So my measuring cups and my measuring spoons are all magnetic, which is great, but sometimes it sticks to other things. Okay. Now for this, because the butter is cold, I'm going to use a dough cutter. That's almost always the best thing because you don't transfer the heat from your hands to what you're doing. Plus, it cleanly cuts through the cold butter. assuming I can find my dough cutter, that is. It's probably one of those situations where I'm like, oh, I'm so smart, I'm going to put it here so I never lose it again. Well, that's the craziest thing. You'd be amazed how much that happens to me. And I don't always think it's my own doing. Okay, well, weird. So the backup to that is we'll just use forks. You know what's going to happen as soon as I'm finished with this, I'm going to find them. I'm going to find my dough cutter. I use it regularly, so it's very odd that it would just be missing. Okay. Now remember, this is the one that we're going to use for the topping of the cheesecake, and that one on the counter is the one I'm going to use for the ice cream. Okay. So I'm just getting this all kind of mixed up. And then you just want to mash the butter through the tines of the fork like this, and then kind of and the goal is when you're done with this, it's just going to kind of be one big crumbly mess. Man, that's really bugging me about my dough cutter. It's so convenient. The important part is that I actually work through this before the butter warms up too much. And then you just keep going. You try to find the areas where there's dry stuff and just keep mushing it around. Like this one bigger piece that just won't behave. All right. So you see how this is kind of turning into almost like gravel. now this is going right in the fridge, and I'll probably mix it up a little bit more. It's also considerably less effort doing it with a dough cutter than doing it this way, but that's okay. My hands are strong, I will say that, from all of the piano I've been doing. It's actually a phenomena that's, like, this is good silverware, right? But I actually bent it a little bit, which I didn't expect to happen. But it's one of the hidden dangers of playing an instrument to that extent, like one where you're using your hands in the manner that you would with piano, especially when you start getting into like the really, big things, and you have veins popping out and muscles and that look all weird. But you actually have to, at least for me, I have to be mindful though that when I get to this point that you really have to be careful when you don't want to shake somebody's hand too hard, because I could crack walnuts with my fingers right now. All right. And you don't realize it because you're just doing it every day, but okay. Why did this one work so much better? Well, maybe I'll make this one the topping. We'll see. Probably because I was complaining less, right? Complaining usually doesn't do you any good. Okay. That was one of the things that I mentioned that I really, really enjoyed about Vietnam. I am still working on video projects for that. I just want to take my time and do it correctly. But the people there have been through so much. I mean, like, we really cannot comprehend as Americans just what the average Vietnamese person, does to get by, and what they've seen in their country. And, unfortunately, a large part of it was on account of the actions of this country. But no one complains there. They do what they have to do, and they do it with a very profound nobility that you see. So, like, even in normal, everyday jobs, they take pride in their work, and that's something that I think is becoming increasingly less common in this country. Well, it certainly was where I worked previously with some of the younger people, but okay. So I'm going to let that chill for just a little bit. Or you know what? I could just keep going, right? Got everything set up, I might as well. Let's move on to the apples. All right, so 500 grams total is what I'm going to be doing. I use my dishwasher so much now. It's unbelievable. There are times where I'll do 3 loads a day. Okay, if you remember, I ran these apples through the peeler. See, now this is an area where I think we can... Wait, no, we're gonna be smart. Okay, so that's for the cheesecake. I'm my own worst enemy sometimes. No, wait, that's for both. Okay, so here's what we'll do. 250 grams for the cheesecake, because we don't want to mess around one bit with that. But we'll always err on the side of that. So do that for the cheesecake. You know what? Sorry, now you're starting to witness my normal internal struggle. Okay, we're just gonna do this, and I'll use those for... Okay, so we're gonna use these 4 apples. That's about 500 grams total. Feels dirty talking about stuff in grams like that. Okay, so the way that they recommend this is a combination of thinly sliced and chopped apples. So the benefits of running it through that core peeler, slicer up, or whatever it's called, is that it already slices them for you. So I'll do about half and half, half sliced. And then the other half we'll chop. And a little bit of skin is fine. You know what? I'll just pull these apart by hand. Isn't that nice? It's super convenient. All right, and then we will chop these guys. It's all going in the same bowl, by the way. I mean, those apple peelers aren't very expensive either. And if you're going to use it like, I don't know, more than once or twice, I think it's worth it. It's so much easier than peeling by hand or even using like a food processor. It does everything. All right.
I'm just reviewing my notes from the last time, making sure I got everything here.
All right. I think we're good. Sounds like a delivery is here. Hopefully it's my networking stuff so I can get legit with this whole live streaming setup. I think that's what it is. Okay. So we're going to keep going here. This is lemon juice that I squeezed the other day. Okay. And so this is double, by the way. Just like before. I never thought I would need 2 sets of measuring spoons, but I actually have 3. Oh, that's a half. There we go. The nice thing is these are also magnetic, which is wonderful for keeping them organized, but these are nice because one end is tapered. So, if you need it, the other side wouldn't fit in there. And I do have like actual levelers, but I just usually use a butter knife. All right. All right, I need some brown sugar. This time I'm not going to grab the breadcrumb or the graham cracker crumbs. I have this phobia now of somehow tripping or catching a wire and having it bring down a camera, because that happens literally every single day. So maybe it's not a phobia, maybe it's more of a being in touch with reality. Okay. I know people think I'm crazy, but I think you have to put love into these recipes. Like, if you just throw stuff, blap, 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 and yeah. Yes, I do that from time to time when I'm in a hurry. But if you really take your time with these recipes, that's when they seem to turn out the best. juice. And then some of the caramel from before. One, two. This is where I cheat a little bit. I think a little bit of extra lemon juice is a good thing. It helps prevent the apples from turning brown, even though they're getting baked. And it also helps to, there's so much like sugar and rich, dark stuff in there. Okay, yeah, I did the brown sugar. And what else am I missing? All right. Oh, I know. It was. All right, and now, let me find. In these recipes, they're always like, you know, you can use this much caramel and do this and this. Like, but if you'd like more or less, I'm like, okay, so who's going to go through all the trouble of making this cheesecake that even if you try to use good ingredients, you know, it's like a billion calories and all these other things. And then you're like, no, hold off on that caramel. Okay. Well, heck, I guess we're just gonna, yay. That was my dishwasher. So, my old dishwasher finally had enough. And, you know, it wasn't the best dishwasher to begin with. But anyway, so I ended up buying a new one. And it is so smart. It's like smarter than I am. I'm sure a lot of people would agree with that. So just getting everything coated and all of that good stuff that I just put in there. Brown sugar, cinnamon, lemon juice. That's weird. I normally have my phone silenced, but a message came through. All right. All right, well, you know what? Instead of breaking this into more segments, we're just gonna get this thing done now. Okay. Well, now comes the fun part. At least I think it's fun. Okay, so I'll kind of get this ready over here. We will use these apples in a little bit. We don't need these anymore. Or the lemon. Or the brown sugar. Okay. Okay. I have another bowl that I'm going to use. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this bowl, but this one is my OG mixing bowl. Sentimental. All right, so I need to double whatever I'm going to do here. Oh, that works out well. So this is, I'm just unboxing some cream cheese. Nobody really needs to see that, right? Okay. So for my needs right now, I'm going to be using 3 packages. You wouldn't use that much if you're just making the cheesecake, but I am going to figure out something with the ice cream. Maybe. Oh, I got an idea. All right. In my mind, I'm kind of thinking about what I'm going to be doing with the ice cream, but an idea just came to me. We'll see if it works. I really enjoy making ice cream, but it is nice to get back to baking again. There's something very satisfying. Especially these longer ones where it's like, it takes you literally a couple days to get it done because you have to wait for things to cool down or wait for other things to get to certain temperatures. Okay. There we go. 24 ounces of cream cheese. Okay, and just when I thought I was done with the brown sugar, I need it again. Brown sugar. Okay. I do have more organic brown sugar. I'd rather not have to do that while I'm live. So there's a half. If I can get another half cup here. Oh boy, look at that. And once that's packed down, perfect. Well, that worked out very, very well. Thank you, God. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to go to my OBS software here. Oh, that's nice. It's like, not showing me anything, but that's okay. There you go. Okay, Facebook. I can always count on you, right? Whoa. All right. Whoa, sorry. You got a close up there. I'm just moving this a little bit. Yeah, switch out of ultra wide. So the limitations that I'm experiencing right this moment will be solved by an Amazon delivery. Hopefully. Okay, well, that's a little bit better view for what I'm about to do. So this is just the cream cheese and brown sugar. And you know what? For this one, I am going to use a spatula paddle beater. So this scrapes the sides of the bowl. And with cream cheese and butter and all that good stuff, that's always a good thing. Okay, what I'm gonna do is just temporarily take off the sound here. Just like with the blender, I don't wanna, the mixer can be really loud, so I don't wanna have anybody's ears get blown out if they're wearing headphones, so be back in just a sec. Actually, it's not so loud. The blender, yeah. Okay. I've made this mistake so many times, you have to start slow. I've had stuff like fly all over the place. But we do want this whipped. So I'm gonna turn it up to about there. And then we're gonna let that go. The ice conversion. Okay. So that's whipped for a few minutes. You know, if I were smart, I would actually use this thing the way that it's designed. Let's just lower that. Okay. Another thing I never in a million years thought I would ever say is like I have an impressive collection of spatulas now, especially for ice cream. Just goes to show you never know how somebody might change or, you know, for that matter, who they really are. That's why I want to encourage other people to share with me, you know, what they're doing. So, yeah, it reminds me, I have to get back to, there's another Bree that just reached out to me, and I have to get back to her. Sorry, Bree, if you see this. I'm not dodging you. Okay, what next? I feel like I'm forgetting something. That happens often. All right. Well. Oh, I am forgetting something. Okay. Good. Let's see. Save my measuring spoons. Ooh, an 1/8 cup. Okay. Sour cream. I need
calls for 3 tablespoons, but I'm doing double, so 6 tablespoons. There are 16 tablespoons in a cup, so I'll use that 1/8 of a cup, and that would be 3 1/8 cups would equal 6 tablespoons. Haha. Here's something else I'm thinking. The recipe calls for vanilla extract, but what if I actually used vanilla bean paste that I already have? In theory, it should be a 1-to-1, the extract and paste, so. Might kind of help with the richness, you know, because there's like little specks of vanilla. I think I'm going to try that. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. You heard it here first. Nick Reed is going to use vanilla bean paste. No extract for this guy. I'm so cavalier about that. Like, oh, what's always good? Watch me use vanilla bean paste and it does something and my house burns down. Okay. All right, we told you not to. Okay. Yeah. Take that recipe and do what I want. Okay, I'm like officially running out of measuring spoons now, but my dishwasher did finish. I just don't want to. You know how like your dishwasher is super, super duper hot? When the dishes are done. Well, mine gets like nuclear hot. Those Germans, I tell you. It is the best dishwasher I've ever had, though. It's a Bosch. It's called Bosch Benchmark. And it even has, it projects a little hologram onto the floor with all of the information about the cycles and all that. Super duper cool. And I always run it from my phone. I mean, you can run it otherwise, but. All right. Whoop, whoop, whoop. We're getting close to the good part here. All right. Getting the oven preheated. Shouldn't take very long.
All right. Now, the last part here. I could do this in the mixer. I should do it in the mixer, but I'm very particular about consistencies. So, what I'm gonna do is, because I'm making a real cheesecake, not the fake no-bake cheesecake. So, if you blend the eggs like at the wrong speed or you don't get it, it'll create lumps, and nobody wants lumps in their cheesecake, right? All right. Should really. Well, I was meaning for this just to be a segment on doing the streusel topping, but I'm just doing the whole daggone thing right now. To heck with waiting. Nick Reed's got stuff to do. I'm also teaching piano later today. I'll be doing a live stream of that too. My buddy Abfars, he lives across the street with his parents, the Matheny's. Awesome, good, salt of the earth, God-fearing people. We need more people like that. I can't complain. I'm surrounded by really, really exceptional neighbors, smart, conscientious, for the most part. We all get along pretty well. Okay. So now I'm going to put 2 eggs in here. And I've made some really unbelievable no-bake cheesecakes before. But if you're a purist, this is the only way to do it. You know what? I'm going to switch to the ultra wide. Sorry about that, folks. Actually, what I really should do, I'm just like running out of room. That's clean. I don't need these anymore. I didn't use them. Amazing, like when you put stuff away, it actually creates room. Who would have thought? Be doing another load of dishes here soon. All right. Let's see how that looks. I'm going to move the camera down just a smidge. Resetting my time-lapse camera. I'm also filming this for my cool videos. Man, Instagram is like so far behind the other streams. Okay, that was only the first time I've ripped off my microphone today. Trying to position it so that I don't do that again. It was actually the cable. I'm wearing it on the, here. You can see. So I'm wearing this here. I can't tell if you can see. And then I have this just clipped to my shirt. I didn't take the greatest of care with this, but I just thought it's not really going to be me on camera, so why not? All right. So as I was saying, I just added 2 eggs to here. And I could have just done this right in the mixer, but this is the one portion where consistency really is a big deal. I shouldn't say the one, like the whole thing. They're just like, if you do any little thing wrong, they're like ruins the whole thing. Okay, so I just broke the eggs, and then I'm gonna slowly. You cannot. I repeat with cheesecake, you cannot overmix, or it gets super lumpy. So there we go. Just kind of work the egg in, and the oven just finished preheating. You know what's crazy about this recipe too? So you preheat the oven to 350, right? And then what you do, this is the only recipe where I've ever had to do this, but you preheat the oven to 350, and then as soon as you put the cheesecake in, you turn the oven temperature down, and then the oven gradually, actually no, I did have to do that with another one where it was, you had to make a bath. But the whole point is you heat the oven for hotter than what you're gonna be baking at, and then it slowly cools down throughout the baking process. And I'm not entirely sure, but I believe it is one of the reasons that cheesecake has the texture that it does, at least certain ones. Okay, yeah. Making sure. Okay, yeah. It's been a while since I've done this one, but making sure that I followed the proper layering order. So this is the cheesecake batter. Uh-oh. I messed up. That's okay. I can fix it. See? If you guys are watching, you would have missed all this. So, I was like, I completely forgot that I made double. Well, this will be interesting, because now there's no way to tell how much. It's all a guess. But it's nice you can see the vanilla specks in there. Okay. Well, that's a lot. Well, we'll see what happens. Yep, we'll just leave it at that. Oh boy. Way to go, Nick Reed. That was not very smart. Okay. Now, as I almost made the exact same mistake. It would not be the first time. I was all precise before now. That's usually how it goes. Like, I operate with a high degree of precision until I screw something up, and then I'm like, okay, well, forget that. And for the ice cream, I am definitely going to blend those apples. You don't want huge chunks of apple like you're going to have in here. We're going to do just a little more. So I have a special top secret ingredient for the ice cream, so I can do with a little bit less of this apple part. How many apples did I use? I don't know. Nobody knows. Okay. All right. Now, oh, perfect. I'll just use this. We're going to be responsible this time. All right. This is our homemade caramel apple. Yeah, that looks like 3 tablespoons, doesn't it? Okay. Oh. You know, I was just thinking to myself, I don't like leaving loose ends like that. So here's what I'm gonna do. Okay. No pie crust. We're just going to see what happens. This is going to be for the ice cream. There's only one way that you find out with this stuff. It's by experimentation. And after I've made that guffaw with my measurements there, I just want to get it over, get it done. All right, let me get a different, that's a great spatula for certain things, but not for that. There we go. That's a real spatula. Does this, I just thought about it. Flour. Oh, the crumble has flour. I was like, otherwise, this is currently gluten-free. But it won't be for long. Referring to this one that I'm doing right now. The other one is definitely not. That's got hella gluten in it. All right. I hope Instagram's still working. I haven't looked over that way in a while. Oh, this is going to be the craziest ice cream. I'm actually making a caramel apple cheesecake with no crust, just to get blended with the ice cream. That's insane. You guys remember the next step? I do. You know what time it is? It's time for caramel, not caramel. What are you, some kind of weirdo? Okay. Again, precisely 3 tablespoons. I eyeballed that. That's how they teach you at the Culinary Institute that I came from. All right. That's one of those things where it's like, yeah, a little bit extra isn't going to hurt anything, right? Come on, this is Wisconsin. Oh boy, now we just do the streusel on top and it goes right in the oven, which then gets immediately turned down. Whoa, I've got more apples. I forgot about those. Well, that might be a good thing. Okay. This is what I kind of mashed up before. Or I couldn't find my dough slicer. Okay, and this is just rolled oats, brown sugar, a tiny little bit of flour, and butter that was cold and was cubed. And then it makes this crumble. And as the butter melts, that's where it kind of forms this crunchy stuff that adheres to the layers below. All right. And this part I have to go quickly because you really have to get in there while the butter is cold and the oven is hot. And it's not going to be the end of the world, but if you're going through all this trouble, you might as well try to get the best results you can. That's kind of how I look at anything I do. If I'm willing to take time out of my life to do it, I should really try to do it to the best of my ability. No half measures. Well, sometimes you have to cut corners or you'll never get anything done. Okay. And then, what did I say we have to do? Turn down the oven. Okay. And all right. Here we go. Low and slow. Just like barbecue. Alexa, 45 minutes.
45 minutes, starting now.
All right. Now I've got a lot of cleaning up to do. I'll check back in when this is done or when I'm practicing or something else. All right, bye.